Welcome to the Bad Movie Night podcast, covering the worst movies you've never seen. We hope you enjoy listening to Bad Movie Night podcast.
Everybody, welcome back to the Bad Movie Night podcast. My name is Chris, and tonight we've checked out the Tubi original, Sinister Surgeon.
But I am not a murderer.
There's something I'm missing here.
You're next, Caitlin. Be ready.
You're next.
That music?
Yes.
Fucking love the music.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about here tonight with the Sinister Surgeon. But before we can get into that, we have to tell everyone that half of the podcast fucking just already even did it. I like how
bothered.
Aaron's whole reasoning for not coming was just summed up with Spiv saying something and Aaron going, ditto.
But they couldn't watch it at lunch together.
Spiv
takes a guitar to play music. They can't.
Now they only have one excuse between them, and Aaron just co-signs on it. Yeah,
so did they talk about it over Slack, and then like, all right, we're gonna.
I think there has to be some kind of like situational thing that happens if someone's going to do something like that. They come back, they have to do something awful on the podcast that we can all laugh at.
We need another wheel.
We need like something to make them feel bad.
We need to start
them.
We need to start replacing people. Is what we need to start doing.
I mean,
if you miss so many, you're out.
I'm sure we could find people.
Yeah, like somebody strikes and then you're out for a couple weeks or something, and bring in somebody else.
Yeah, and then they'll feel bad.
For some of them, they're going to see that as a reward. Oh no, I don't have to be on for a couple weeks.
It's possible.
Well, if we're trying to turn things around on this podcast, because we've had our ups and downs where we were riding high.
Some of us are trying.
Some of us are trying, and if you're not willing to put in the effort, then just get the hell out. That's what I say, right? You know what I mean? And for a while, it was me, but I'm back. I'm re-energized, guys.
You're in it to win it.
I'm in it to win it. Tubi Originals have got me fired up over here with the Sinister Surgeon.
There were a lot of sin-related
well, it's a hot topic on the internet.
Like
I didn't know.
Turn.
There was a lot. I typed in sin, and it was
It
just
was like
the
everything.
most. Yeah, there was so much Tubi
Sinister
smut
roommate.
being thrown at me. Like a lot of it looked smutty.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
I thought this was going to be smuttier than it was.
I don't know if Tubi gets smutty.
Well, we'll get into the smut factor of the Sinister Surgeon.
It definitely
in a
threw
little
me
bit.
off when they would drop F-bombs.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting more Lifetime, and then that would kind of
Yep, and we'll get into there's much to cover here. But this was our first foray into the Tubi original, so that'll have to be also a talking point tonight. So, like we were saying, it's just AJ, Rebecca, and me tonight, even though I say AJ for some reason. Why does my thing say AJ? God damn it.
That's weird.
Why does it say AJ?
Rebecca and the AJs.
You want me to fix it for you?
No, I'm fixing it. But Aaron, Spiv, and Lindsay are out. Spiv is not here next week. I tried to get Ian to fill in. AJ's not here.
Sorry.
We'll see what happens.
I'm at prison again.
I'm
coming
here
back.
next week, but not the week after.
Back to prison.
Lindsay's out. So she's out this week and next week. Spiv said he'll see us in August.
Jesus, that's because he has like his 5-week vacation he takes.
Dude, wonder what life is like with money.
Oh, it's like fucking
All
Scrooge
the
McDuck.
couches you could want.
You got a safe and you dive in. That's what Spiv's doing every night.
It does become like obvious. Like it becomes like obvious when Spiv's like, well, just like buy like a whole new car or so. It's like why don't you just buy a new car? I'm like, what?
Just get a Tesla. They're
Like,
cheap.
what do you? What? Well, then just spend $20,000 and get and like. But then he's also the cheapest person ever. When it's like, this laptop won't run Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm like, I bought this laptop 15 years ago. I'm like, spend $1,000 and get a new
Dude,
fucking laptop.
I got a new computer like every
My
year.
laptop at the top says I can't update anymore because I'm still running Windows 7.
Rebecca, you need to get a new laptop.
Yeah, you need to write that shit off somehow.
Yeah, write it off for your teacher stuff.
Well, they
I write
give
off
us
computers all the
laptops
time.
though.
Don't get a more
you could still
powerful
write it
one.
off. Yeah. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. We're talking about Sinister Surgeon. AJ, can you tell me what the 2024 Tubi original Sinister Surgeon is about?
A young doctor's dream is to become a top surgeon. But the nightmare of a madman on the loose could cost her everything.
Slash.
Will she be able to protect her patients? Or will her bad acting fuck it all up? Find out in the new Tubi classic that is Sinister Surgeon. Surgeon. Not to be confused with Nip Tuck.
Did you ever watch Nip Tuck?
I loved Nip Tuck.
Yeah, all the way to the brutal end and the writing got bad. I watched it all the way.
Or did it get bad at the end?
The writing got really bad eventually.
I feel like they always do. Like
Well,
they're
it got
just-
very soapy.
they mail it in.
Yeah.
There's very few shows that actually land the ending, is there?
Yeah.
Like, what did? Maybe Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like the limited series. You do like a
Yeah.
season, you know it's going to
Yeah.
definitively end, you just knock it out well.
But then
just
there's
you're
some
off.
limited series that I'm like, I could have used a little bit more.
Well, when it's good, you want more, but then that's what happens. Then you keep
Right,
demanding
then it
more until it
turns
gets bad.
into-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are any of you Goliath fans? The Billy
Nope.
Bob Thornton show? I went back and watched it again, like all the seasons again. It's such a solid show. You should check it out sometime.
There's even some of the limited, like I watched that Eric show with Benedict Cumberbatch. That started out good. It went to hot garbage, I thought. Like
Yeah.
after.
And how do you
4
do
or
that
4
on a
episodes.
limited series?
Because it just got, I don't know. I digress. That's to save that for the pre-show kind of thing.
That's fair.
But we don't have Aaron here, but I figured we can still dive into the history. We'll get a little context for the movie and the year it was released. So here we go. That picture of the history hole looks like Aaron is like a penis and it's surrounded by a foreskin.
Yeah, a little bit. Who's doing the history hole, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it if you want. I pulled
Sure.
up the director, which
Yeah,
is...
I mean, that's who we should talk about.
Right.
Yeah, this is Jonathan Louis Lewis, which hell of a name there.
Louis
the,
Lewis.
Hell of a name.
The J. Louis Lewis. This is not quite his feature film debut, but he did do a feature, I guess, called Tenets in 2023. But Sinister Surgeon does come from the Robbins Entertainment production company, which notably makes a lot of Hallmark and Lifetime originals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Deadly Therapist, Lethally Blonde, Blackmail, Lies, and Murder, Secrets of a Celebrity Nanny, The Serial Killer Seduced Me,
Wow.
which all they sound fantastic.
They do.
Put him on the wheel.
Yeah, can we just watch more of these? Yeah.
I don't know how one becomes a director for hire for these things, but I gotta guess it works similarly to something like The Asylum, where they are giving very little
Ideas
time and
out.
very little money
Yeah.
to make
Just
these
pumping
things.
them out.
Yeah, make them a
As
couple
quickly
weeks,
as you can.
shoot them and be done.
Probably like 2 weeks or
Yeah.
so, and I don't know. I mean, we'll get into the movie, but the production quality is definitely not that bad. So he has a movie called Tenets that he directed in 2023, but before that, it looks like mostly all shorts. But he did do a movie called Black Devil Doll, which was a movie that Jamie suggested to us, which we couldn't
That
watch.
looks a little bit too far.
I remember now. Yeah.
But this is not. I'm sorry. Jamie suggested to us the movie Black Devil Doll from Hell, which is from the 80s. This is, I think, a remake of that or something.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Why?
A young, buxom teen, Vixen finds herself hurled into an odyssey of forbidden sex and unspeakable violence after an innocent evening dabbling in the occult. What started as a simple child's game has now become a fight for her life. What is this evil that she is summoned from beyond?
Well, isn't the Black Devil doll like a cult classic?
I don't know. We were too scared to to watch.
Yeah.
But here's a thumbnail from the movie. Of this guy's movie. So I don't know.
Maybe we should watch it. We could skip through it and see if it's like safe.
Whatever they saw in that movie, though, that inspired them to sign this guy up for Sinister Surgeon. So whatever.
That's so funny. Well, good for him. I'm glad he's getting work.
Yeah. Some of the similar movies of Sinister Surgeon are the Tubi originals, A Stranger's Child.
Uh-oh.
Yes, which Donna wakes up in the hospital with amnesia and a baby. Concurrently, news breaks of a kidnapped baby, causing Donna to question if the baby is hers. So I feel like a lot of these Tubi originals have now gone, and probably smartly so, in the direction of Lifetime originals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. There's a market for that, you know? Tap into it.
And you know, a little spoilers, it's like a Lifetime original with a little bit more bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got the Hallmark down here that are just like the fluff and terrible story. And then the Lifetime kind of ramps it up a little bit more, a little edgier. And it seems like Tubi is the next level.
Wow, this is exciting.
So
This is a good time to be in this.
So then we need to, AJ, ramp it up
Take
more.
a step further.
Or do something else.
And who's going to buy that?
I don't know. Somebody will.
Shutter.
When we
need a
reboot the
contact for
witchcraft, we reboot that witchcraft series.
Yeah, that would. I guarantee you, if we reboot the witchcraft movie, we would knock it out of the park, and we would get attention for it because that is a series.
Yeah.
That is out there, and we could.
It's got a
easily get
legacy.
that.
I just don't feel like writing that movie.
Really, I would write it. It'd be fun.
You think it would be fun to write a witchcraft movie?
Oh, absolutely, because you could bring all the stuff from the past movies into it and poke at it a little bit. You know, it'd be fun. Like homage.
Layers.
Yeah.
Like take some of the lore and stuff, but build a whole new.
Yeah,
whole
and make
movie
it
out of
better. Just make it more of a movie. You know, it
And
could still
have,
be a
like,
little cheesy
actors.
and over the top, but
And they must be pumping these Tubi originals out because, okay, you got Deadly Invitations, Tubi original, Invasive, Tubi original, Deadbolt, Tubi original, Snatched, Tubi original, The Sin-Turn, which is a movie that came up when I was looking for this.
are any of these like rated well? Like, do you think are any decent?
So The Sin-Turn is rated 5.2 out of 10 with 106 reviews. A young woman hell-bent on revenge takes a job as an intern at a megachurch to expose a corrupt pastor with dark secrets.
Oh, that sounds right on my
We
alley.
should watch that. That sounds
Can we
fucking
watch that
awesome.
next? That sounds really good.
All right. If we get
man.
toenails, we're doing Sinturn.
All
No,
right.
AJ's not going to
Yeah.
be here for The Sin-Turn.
I'll
We
still
can
watch
still
it
watch
though.
it.
I'll watch it. That sounds great.
I wouldn't mind watching The Sin-Turn.
Wait, what is that? Wednesday night?
Yeah.
I'll see. I'll see if where I'm staying has Wi-Fi. Maybe I could
If
jump
it's
on.
a Sinturn, he'll be here.
I might jump on, depending
Dude.
how late I work. Yes.
The Sin-Turn might be worth, taking a little time out of your vacation or
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. I'm just saying.
Being in
Yeah.
the prison.
I'm in the prison, so prison. All
Oh, you're in the prison.
Yeah, the prison for a couple of days.
They're probably already watching that shit there. So yeah, I mean that's a little bit of the backstory here. I don't have much to say. There's no trivia. There's nothing information on this movie. It just came out on June 13th, so it's only been out for a little while. I'm
Sean
sorry,
said
that's
the-
the Sin-Turn
Sean said the main guy was in Star Trek Enterprise.
of this movie.
Yeah, the guy that's.
So is that like the main surgeon guy?
I'm pretty sure that's who he means. He looks familiar. He looks like a real actor.
Anthony Montgomery plays Dr. Peterson. He was on Star Trek Enterprise as Ensign Travis Mayweather, which I watched all of Star Trek Enterprise. Thank you very much. Even though that opening theme song is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Enterprise, man. How many seasons of Enterprise is
There was like 4 or 5. It was on
it's
longer
like
than it
5,
should have. been.
98
and
episodes?
it got good. Like
Yeah.
they had like an overarching story for a whole season and shit. I thought it was good. I don't know.
I like Bakula.
I like Bakula too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've only seen a couple episodes of. I've never seen the.
I was on board.
Have you watched all the Star Treks, like all the seasons? Picard's supposed to be good.
So no, I didn't watch any of the new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could watch Picard. I can't watch those old guys.
I love the old ones, like the original ones, the cheesy ones. They're fun.
I mean, I love Next Generation. That's like one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I like Deep Space Nine. And I liked Voyager. And I liked Enterprise. So I watched all those.
Yeah.
But anyways. So, all right. So, Jonathan Lewis. This movie was also written by Mary O'Neill and James Quinn. You would know Mary O'Neill from her movie Psycho Storm Chaser.
Oh, shit, really? Psycho Storm Chaser?
Yeah, she was a star in it, though. She played Ella Banks, which I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember who she was in Psycho Storm Chaser, even looking at her.
We gotta watch another Psycho Storm Chaser. I wonder what happens next.
Is there a sequel?
There should be.
No, what? That's how they end, AJ. They always end on a nice little cliffhanger.
I mean,
we'll
whoever
talk about
made that
This
one,
one.
we gotta see if it's made other ones.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's it. Let's move on. We have a lot to talk about here with the Sinister Surgeon. Okay. So let's dive into that. We can't do a bumper, and I didn't make a new one yet. So
Let's transition.
Join the
music.
Patreon.
join the Patreon, and we'll just do a little of this. Here we go.
It's Patreon. Join the Patreon. Get your Patreon with the Patreon. Patreon. Baby.
All right, that was a good bumper, right?
That was better than the last one. Wow.
Whatever, guys. We're waiting this crap. All right, we're talking about Sinister Surgeon. AJ, what did you think of the Sinister Surgeon?
I went into it with high hopes, maybe too high. I felt it was it meandered a lot. It wasn't like high energy like a Psycho Storm Chaser was. I thought a lot of the writing was really terrible. And I didn't think the acting was too bad. I just think the writing was bad and didn't work in a lot of the actors' favor in that sense. It felt like it felt like a movie they made very quickly. I did think the gore was kind of cool when you get some of it, even if it wasn't like, fantastically thought out or designed. I did think it was pretty obvious that it wasn't, the cliffhanger wasn't going to be what everyone thought it was going to be. Like, there's only so many characters.
You mean who the murderer was?
Yeah. I mean, we had like two other options. So it's like, well, obviously.
Okay.
But it was okay. I didn't love it. It didn't hold my attention completely. But I did love the banging music in this thing. I'll tell you what, the fucking music was like some good shit. I can't wait to talk about that more. But it was okay.
Rebecca, what'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was no Amish stud or Psycho Storm Chaser.
Yeah.
It was very tropey. Like it had almost like hits that it needed to make, and then it would move on to the next thing that it was going to do. The timeline seemed weird to me. Like it was like so sped up and like, all right, we're going to do this and now this and now this and now this. And it just seemed too much. Like it ended up being like her third day working there by the time we
I see what you're saying.
Finished the movie, but so much happened. The acting wasn't great. It was just okay.
I think I'm a bit more positive on it than you guys. I do agree. Like when I was watching this, my initial thought was, wow, this writing is bad. And I think a lot of it comes down to what people are saying or being forced to say. But then as I was watching it and realizing like how much story was being thrown at me, it seemed like rather quickly, or like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but they did it efficiently. Maybe because the dialogue felt so forced, but by like 15 minutes in, they had painted pretty much every character in this movie as a potential murderer in some way, or you could see the motivations in some
There
way.
was sinisterness to everybody.
The sinisterness was dripping off the walls of this
Yes.
fucking surgery place. And so, I don't know, the melodrama is what generally appeals to me about the Lifetime originals, right? How ridiculous and over the top they are. And I feel like a lot of that was captured in this movie as well.
That's fair.
But then I also bought into the murder mystery and could see it. I think there was a lot of red herrings, and half of them you could immediately be like, it's probably not that person because it's too obvious.
Right. There's too much attention.
Yeah.
Too much attention. But by the end, things happen, and we're going to go through this movie, the story. But by the end, there was another twist
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
that I didn't quite see coming. So,
Yeah, that was fun.
and outside of like the writing, which we know based on these movies, is either going to be super campy and bad, but enjoyable. And I thought it hit that. But the production values for this thing, I thought were pretty good.
It looked good.
Yeah, then like the way they frame people and like the shallow depth of field and stuff, that was all done very cool. It did feel like they were moving very fast though, which I understand for this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It felt like one or two takes and very simple coverage, but I felt like every shot, the lighting was decent and looked nice enough, and it had a nice sheen of production value on it. So
The sets were good too. Like
That's true. There wasn't like a lot of creative camera work.
no
was
time
this-
for
yeah.
no time for that. Yeah,
You did have like that top-down shot from above at where you get the desk and the stairs, which is kind of psychologically cool. Like,
I like that shot. I like the shot when there was a shot or two when they had like somebody tied up, and it was like a wide angle from the back, and it was cool. Like, and some of those kill sequences were also shot decently, where they would hint at things. But my God, I was not expecting the gore and violence in this movie.
yeah.
yeah.
And at times, the one scene, I had to like look away when he was just like, or they
Which one?
were
The
just like
girl?
They were like
The first girl?
Oh, the
smashing
nose
this-
one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where he's like
Cracking
digging
into
out.
this nose with like a hammer type thing.
Yeah.
I really like. That's my thing though. Like, they went there for that scene, but why did they like ramp that up more as the movie progressed and stuff? Like, I thought there was like really good opportunities for gore in this. You know?
I question that though, because it's. I mean, I never watched Grey's Anatomy, but I hear that it's like gore. There's like gore porn and that shit. Not like this.
I've watched all 25 seasons of it.
Oh my God.
And like I'm not a real big gore fan, and I can watch that
Okay.
no problem. Like, they'll get blood on their hands and stuff, or like it'll squirt out of a patient or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
not like over the top gore.
Right.
Like next level.
Yeah.
Well, this had me questioning who the ideal audience for this thing was.
Well, that's yeah.
What is
'Cause-
Tubi's audience?
Because I
don't
can't
know.
imagine, like, it's no Hallmark people are watching this one.
No.
For sure. Some of the Lifetime people I can see getting into this, but being like a little put off by some of the things that were included.
I feel like with titles like this and like the sexual innuendo and tones, I feel like it's like a late night audience you're trying to catch with types of stuff like this. Like someone's up at like 2 a.m. wants to watch something that's like a little sleazy. You know?
It speaks to me of like a romance novel
Okay. Yeah.
with like you have a couple different types of romance novels. I never read any, so I'm just speaking of stereotypes, and I could be completely wrong. But it seems like you have like the vampire leaning romance. You have this is the murder mystery thriller, erotic thriller type style of romance novel.
But like, the romance novels are taking it up a notch more than this. Like, this is a little tame for
Yeah.
some of those.
Well, yeah, you don't get like the throbbing
slutty-
manhood and stuff like that.
Right,
That
right.
Well,
was-
they
yeah.
always cut away, and I guess
So I
it's
think
just,
that's
like,
going to be a little, like, you're not quite getting that audience because you're not quite going that far.
Is that because of like, with streaming services, I feel like it doesn't matter if you want to go that far, but then I'm wondering if it's more of like ad revenue.
Oh, Tubi is 100%. We've talked about this before, but there's so many movies that they cut out the nudity because Tubi is all ad based. And
right.
Speaking as a filmmaker who has like 5 movies on Tubi, it is the best place for independent filmmakers to make money. And if you limit that with having nudity because you get less ads, it's not something you want to do. So that's why it's got this censoring platform, which kind of sucks for the viewer. But again, as an independent filmmaker, they pay well. Yeah. So I get that. But this, even saying like, yeah, it doesn't have like nudity and stuff, I feel like the same demographic who's buying and watching or reading romance novels is going to be into like the Lifetime original style movies. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fair.
And so this definitely this feels like a Lifetime original stepped up a bit with the gore and the F words. And that's about it. No nudity. They didn't try that at all. But they did imply some sexual stuff during work hours, may I add.
That's true.
When you get caught up in the throes of surgery, I guess.
The throes of plastic surgery inspires passionate lovemaking in the locker room.
I guess so. The locker room. Is there really like a locker room like that? I just feel like you would have like a bathroom you'd go into.
Yeah, I don't know. They got like two surgeons at this place, and they got like a whole locker room. I don't know.
And the other thing is
but like the nurses and stuff have to change too.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you? I was also curious about this because like there's like certain levels of surgery. Can you do a lot of stuff in like a place like that, or do you have to go to a hospital? You know what I mean?
It depends on what it is and what kind of
like degree,
like clearances you like. Because there's some places that you can go in and have a nose job done in the same office, just like what's shown there. I think it depends on like how the office is rated.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can probably do a lot
like
more.
The
than
severity of like the operation could determine what kind of equipment you need and that kind of thing.
And also to like probably the patient history.
Yeah, because I imagine
you're not gonna do a nose job on an 85-year-old woman in the back office. And with
plastic surgery things, you're walking out the same day, a couple hours later.
Right,
you're not sneaking there.
Yeah, you're not staying overnight for a.
I mean, you don't even do that in a real hospital these days, unfortunately.
No.
Jesus Christ.
But even like some orthopedic places, I mean, they're not full hospitals, but you can still go have, minor operations done, be under anesthesia.
What would you have done, guys?
Under anesthesia?
AJ, would you get a Brazilian butt lift? Because I know you would.
I mean, if I look good.
You really want to fill out those jeans, I know.
I just feel like if I had money, I wouldn't be spending it on that kind of stuff. And I don't know. You have to be like, a certain level of vein.
I'd get all my fat sucked out, and I'd get fake muscles put in.
Really? Fake muscles?
No. They look awful.
You can do that.
No, I'm not going to do that. I mean, if I really wanted to get lose all the fat quickly, I'd just get on Ozempic or something like that.
Well, there's
plastic surgery is scary, man.
That show on Netflix, Botched, which is all about like fixing awful plastic surgery. But I watched an episode or two of that, and the one episode, a guy came to them who had like designed his own muscle implants that he wanted them to put in. And they're like, no, you've had too many plastic surgeries already. I think that's part of you have one, and then what am I gonna fix next?
Yeah,
okay,
it's like
now
it's like getting a tattoo. You get addicted to it.
Right.
I don't even know. I don't have a thing that I think if I just fix this one thing, it would make me look a lot better. But I guess some people do. I don't know.
I think it depends on who you are. I think for women, especially, depending on where you are in society, it's expected of you in a lot of ways. Especially if you're someone that's an actress, or you're someone that's like a model, or you're someone that relies on a lot of your beauty, then it becomes a thing, right?
I guess.
But then like Botox and that kind of stuff, like once you start doing it, you have to continue, or it's like a drastic change once it leaves. Like, we have a common friend that works in an office where clients have Botox.
Okay.
And I guess someone stopped, and the boss noticed and was like, wow, she really looked old. And it was just because she had stopped Botox. Like,
yeah. But that's the thing. It's also really noticeable to the degree that people use Botox. I mean, I think like anything, there's like levels, but people tend to overdo things very easily. And it's like, especially if you're going in for plastic surgery, plastic surgeons overdo stuff very easily too. Like, you know, it's like anything else. It's really hard to find a good doctor and a good expert.
Well, a plastic surgeon, you go to a plastic surgeon and you say, what do I need done? They're going to find a million things that you need done.
well, even like Katie in the movie in that one scene was like, okay, tell me what you would fix about me. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine dating a plastic surgeon, like how you would feel. Like, are they analyzing every little piece of my face?
I don't know. But also, like, everyone who has all this plastic surgery done, does anyone ever end up looking good?
Well, I think like good plastic surgery, you never
We
know
don't
they
know.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
the
it's probably
bad plastic
extremely
surgery
expensive.
that's like,
That's true.
whoa,
And like,
what did you do to your
and in
face?
all reality, if you're getting like a good plastic surgeon, you're probably flying to California or going to New York. You know what I mean? Like to get like a really good person where you're going to pay real money for it.
Well,
So, like, you know, you're not
and
coming to
that's-
Harrisburg.
no, I mean, this movie it takes place in Beverly Hills. Our main character, I don't know what her name was. Do you remember her name?
Katie.
Katie. She comes and starts working at this new firm. Well, she joins this firm as a new surgeon.
Resident. And she is a legacy. Her dad was a cardiologist.
Yeah.
So she comes pedigreed.
And they make a big note of importance about her dad being somebody of importance. I said importance several times there, but stature, yeah. And I didn't quite understand why, and I still don't understand by the end of the movie.
Yeah, I don't really like. He plays into that not at all.
No.
Except for,
Not at all.
like,
The setup.
he died, and that was her reason for wanting to move.
I think there was a lot of setup and judgment too, because you had the who's the woman who's the other top surgeon there? with the guy?
Nichols.
Dr. Nichols.
Nichols kind of looked down on her as like, I worked my ass off to get into this position. I didn't have a dad that got me in because he was a famous doctor. You know, there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
But it's not even like he was a famous plastic surgeon that she like. He was a cardiologist.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
He was a cardiologist who teached. So taught, whatever.
Yeah.
I need to go back to school. But this whole plastic surgery place is owned by Dr. Peterson and Dr. Nichols. I think that's why it's called
their
like the
place.
PN or something. PN. And those are the only two surgeons. But as Caitlin joins this place, there's another surgeon who's like throwing a fit, and his name is Brad.
Yeah,
And he comes up
Brad.
many times throughout this movie as a weird stalker.
Yeah.
and he's like the warning in the background, like things are bad.
Yeah, and they overuse them.
Yes,
They do
he's
overuse
everywhere.
Brad.
He's
all
everywhere
the time.
because
Yeah.
he's not doing it in like a.
Rational.
We just want to let you know what's going on. Like he's
Which
in her
seems
closet.
weird.
He's tracking her down in the
I
parking
guess that's the
garage.
idea. It makes it kind of creepy, and you maybe they want you to think Brad is like a
They
little
definitely
crazy.
want you to think he is.
The guy was a surgeon
one.
now. Like, you know?
Brad was so obviously not the killer,
Right.
though, based on just the way they used him. But yeah, he's a surgeon. Like, why is he doing this? He has an issue with Dr. Peterson, who's the sexy, hot doctor. He claims that he is not who he seems, and that possibly he murdered his wife.
Right. sleeping with
maybe
all the
others.
patients.
Which she wasn't quite raw.
Which we come to learn is not quite wrong. But before all that, like Caitlin
Yeah.
joins this firm. Is it a firm? What do you call
Practice.
it? Practice.
Practice,
Okay.
yeah.
And the receptionist assistant lady Lori is showing her around. She's introduced to Dr. Peterson. There's immediate attraction there.
Yes.
Which Sparks fly, and before days have passed, they're in the throes of passionate lovemaking in the locker room. She's also introduced to Dr. Nichols, who immediately is set up as like the worst human being to ever exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because she actually wants her to like prove herself as a doctor
professional.
and a surgeon before just letting her like cut faces and stuff.
That makes a little sense.
Sure, she does want that, but her approach and the way she talks to people is so comically like over the top.
Yeah.
You've got Peterson like doing that joke with the coffee
app
maker. Like, I think I would be a little bitchy too if that was what my partner thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I hear you. It's just like the first thing, like there was like no level of respect, even human decency coming from Dr. Nichols to anyone.
Well, and especially like she referred to her as Ms. Harkin, not Doctor.
Okay.
Like I thought that was very pointed in how, because she did it several times. Where like she's a doctor.
She knows she's a doctor. She won't let her perform surgery or do anything, even though Caitlin keeps asking if she can at least sit in and watch a surgery and stuff like that. But the sparks grow. They go out on a date, Dr. Peterson and Caitlin, and seemed very unprofessional that like everyone was aware that they were going on a date and no one had an issue really with it.
Yeah.
No, it was just like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, that's
look at
also,
this.
a professional like environment. And I feel like a doctor's office, especially when you have small numbers like that, like it would be very inappropriate to be seeing somebody.
He is her supervisor.
Yeah, that's already a conflict instantly. And he's like way, way older than her.
Right.
It's like at least like 15 years. So
I would question the professionalism and because it speaks to the poor decision making of someone who's like immediately going to have a relationship with their boss after like 2 days. And it's like, now you're in charge of like cutting into people and dealing, like making life-saving decisions and shit. It doesn't speak to your decision making skills.
No.
that's true.
And the Dr. Nichols, who's been so hard on her and not letting her do surgery, and then really has nothing to say about them going on a date. Like she doesn't care.
No.
Weird.
No, they all just like joke and, oh, it's so funny. Oh, another one that he's going out with.
Yeah. Like she basically becomes
That's
the
other
laughing
thing. Like,
stock of
he
the office.
has dated multiple patients.
And is apparently
like,
still
dating them.
And is she not worried about that as like a huge red flag, especially when she finds out from the patient
No,
she
if
is
anything,
seeing?
she's
Like,
just kind of like,
naive to it, right?
well, no, she like almost gets angry at the patients for having these relationships.
Well, that's the
with their
thing, isn't it?
That she's now having a relationship.
I think
that plays into part of like turning women against women in situations.
but also I think that yes, it's bad, but I think it makes sense for her character because again, she's like actively immediately having a relationship with her boss. Like she's not making good decisions.
Right
she
away,
is like
instantly
blinded by him, charmed by him in such a way that she has let all rational thinking go.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, it's so obvious right when they meet. You're like, okay, yeah, they're gonna have a thing. And what do we expect though? It's a cheesy, campy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lifetime.
You're gonna jump
style
into
of
it because
so
of that quickly. Yeah.
But like, if this was a legitimate like movie, you'd be like, this is so bad. But without that, it's not nearly as fun. So
No.
I don't know. I'm letting it go. I mean, you have the scene where Dr. Nichols finally lets her in to do surgery, and they run into an issue because the patient is waking up some, and they need to administer more morphine.
And it's not prepped.
It's not prepped. And as she searches for it, she can't find it, and they ratchet up the tension with it's like beeping, like the patient's dying or something. But I think she was just waking
it's
up,
just
right?
like getting more aware.
Yeah.
Like that's the body's reaction because the patient is like feeling things.
Mm-hmm.
So then almost has shock reaction to being cut into.
Yeah.
But they set it up as though like Dr. Nichols was testing her because she's like, come on, get the morphine. And the woman's like, they didn't prep the morphine. She's searching around. And instead of helping, Dr. Nichols just keeps like edging her.
Yeah. And like, this is the first time she's doing surgery with you. Like, you have to give a little bit of guidance. Like, that is part of your job.
Yeah, no, it's like trial by fire here. So she administers ketamine instead because on her chart it says she can have ketamine. And then like Dr. Nichols just freaks out on her for administering ketamine instead of morphine. Which I don't know anything about doctors if that would have been a legitimate issue or not.
They made it a point to say earlier how Lori was in charge of prepping and getting everything ready, but then it's immediately Caitlin's fault for not having the morphine ready.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I guess doctors are supposed to double check everything.
I don't know. I guess
doubt that
you really would
happens,
have to
though.
know about the situation. I mean, it sounded like it was her job from that perspective. But I guess the ketamine was a dangerous choice because if you're off a little bit, it could be deadly in that case. So then, yeah, that is really serious. Yeah.
I think ketamine too is a much stronger drug.
Then morphine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How do you know? Can you use more? Does morphine keep you under?
I didn't think so. Like I was
thought
surprised
morphine
when
was
she was
just
like,
like
she's
a pain
waking up,
reliever.
let's get her
Yeah.
morphine. Like what?
Because morphine is just supposed to be like, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know about
Because
that.
she said like you never mess with the anesthesia. I'm like, well, morphine isn't anesthesia.
Yeah. I didn't understand what was happening there, but whatever. It's a make.
And typically too, you're gonna have an anesthesiologist who's in charge of.
Yeah, I thought there was
all
like
of that
somebody's
stuff.
specific job just to do that, but whatever. Either way, it was like, complications within the surgery and things didn't go as well. But like nothing happened with the patient. It was just like this conflict between the doctors. We also learned like that the secretary, Lori, assistant, had like, she was once a doctor but was in a car accident.
Yes.
And she can't see out of her left eye, I guess. And
But we don't find that out until later. We know she's been like fully redone face wise.
she's been repaired, but she can no longer perform surgery, so that's why she's just an assistant. And immediately I was like, she's the killer. It's definitely her.
And she has a motive because she's bitter. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been taken away from her.
Well, I knew it either had to be her or the other doctor that owns the firm because she's jealous of what's happening and upset about the practices. And
I mean, I think they really wanted to point it to first Brad, obvious, but then I think they wanted to point it to Dr. Peterson, also very obvious, who's the hot, sexy doctor, because his wife died and he's sleeping around and he's kind of scummy.
Well, we've got that detective too, that it's coming to her almost immediately because he's in the waiting room too when she gets there, talking about all these dead patients and gives her crime scene photos to look at.
Oof.
But says like, don't show this to anybody. But even then, like, why should I trust you as a detective?
And why are you leaving those with her? That's weird.
Right.
Choice.
Yeah, they painted detective as questionable as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty successful in that sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the red herrings had me thinking for a while. We do learn that the doctor's wife, Dr. Peterson's wife who died, committed suicide because she found out he was cheating on her and doing all these terrible things. And that's why he knows the detective, and that's why he has this questionable backstory. But they do seem to be falling in love.
Yes.
or at least Caitlin is falling for him.
Yeah.
So she's more, falling under his spell, as it would be.
Well,
because like that Brad guy is in her apartment, so
Yeah, that's creepy.
he offers his house, one of his houses,
One of his houses.
for her to stay in.
God. Fucking Bezos.
what was the catalyst, though, for her turning on him with the detective? Was it the video footage that was missing or whatever? I don't remember what it
I
was.
don't remember what it was either.
The catalyst for her going to the detective?
Yeah, and like him.
It was after she had gone in and looked at all the patient files and compared everything, and the wife's follow-up was that April 12th, which was when Brad said was like the
That's
day
right.
to
He
look
gave her the
for.
date. Yeah.
Plus he
So
came
like
home late
things
that one
started
night.
like because every woman that had died bared a resemblance to
And
the
a lot of them had
ex-wife.
relationships with him, so it made
Yes.
sense.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the while this is happening, they would introduce a patient, and then later that patient would be brutally murdered.
Yeah.
And
But it was all related to the surgery that they had.
yeah,
Like if they had a boob job, the boobs were pulled out. They had cheek implant, which I'm not really sure how having your cheek implants taken out is going to kill you.
I don't know. I mean, if you're digging up someone's nose with a nail, who knows?
when he killed that woman, or what I guess when she killed that woman who had the boob job,
Spoiler alert.
she also
Ripped her intestines out.
ripped her intestines out. Yeah, which is unrelated.
Yep.
And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that was some of those
surprised.
kills.
Yeah.
What do you think about the final reveal into...
So they finally reveal that it is, in fact, Laurie, the
Yes.
assistant. And her whole motivation is, I guess she's mad.
Practicing-
She wants to keep practicing surgery, but she's also mad at Dr. Peterson because he is the one who suggested she not be able to perform surgery anymore.
Turned her in because of that. She can't see out of her left eye. That's going to cause depth perception issues, and she's not going to be able to be
Yeah.
a surgeon.
That whole
with
that whole last scene was really wild because everyone all of a sudden shows up in the same room at the same time. Like
Yeah.
that guy that the creepy guy was there randomly.
Yeah, Brad was there.
I was like,
Yeah,
"Wow."
Brad.
He just jumped out of nowhere.
He's just
out of nowhere.
He's
He wasn't
everywhere.
hiding.
Well,
And he didn't understand what's happening.
when they killed Dr. Nichols, they first reveal her sitting at her desk in her office in a wide shot. She's looking at the computer, and then all of a sudden, a hand from in front of her injects her, and she never noticed the guy walking into her room.
She was running those files.
She was engrossed in the.
Or she knew who it was, so she wasn't scared.
Yeah, so she wasn't scared.
But it's the sloppiness
I-
But
that
then
I
it should
kind
be
of
like,
appreciate.
what are you doing here?
Yeah, like,
for you. The poor
well, it's
quality
like
of it.
so obvious you would notice somebody walking in the room, but they don't. So it's like whatever. Yeah, no, that end culminates in like everyone being there in this small surgery room. Brad just like popping up out of frame, getting
Yeah.
immediately killed, stabbed in the
quick.
neck, which was great.
Yeah.
And while Dr. Peterson was arrested, he is released and he comes to save the day. And then ultimately, Laurie is shot by the detective showing up at the last
Yeah.
moment.
In the head.
Seemed a
Right in
little
the
extreme,
freaking head.
But whatever.
And I was like, all right, cool. The movie is ending. Caitlin and Dr. Peterson's been cleared. Yes, his wife did commit suicide. He was a shitbag, but they seem to be actually in love. She's
And this
all in
is
a
6
nice
months later.
dress. 6
Yeah.
months later,
Fancy room.
she can't find her shoes. She looks under the bed to find a box with a ring in it. Turns out it's his ex-wife's ring, who he said it was missing or buried with her.
Yeah, they went with her.
But like, he was investigated for murder, and the cops didn't find this under his bed and
Right.
shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and the other thing that was in there was the necklace
Yeah.
that Dr.
Yeah.
Nichols had been wearing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because he
that
had
too.
to keep that souvenir.
And then we get the great little twist where he admits to murdering his wife.
Yes.
He admits to murdering his wife, and then he ends up murdering.
She was going to take everything.
I would have liked to see where she killed him, and she's like, "No, I'm the murderer."
Yeah, I gotta admit,
I killed everybody.
at first I was like a little like disappointed because like, really, do we need this extra? But then I thought back, I'm like, well, that kind of justifies all of Brad's stuff.
Yeah, and him thinking that, which makes sense.
And it does fill out a lot of the rest of the story. So I was like, okay, it just so happens to be there's 2 killers at this place. It was fun.
It wasn't bad. I like these movies. I'd like to see some more of these for sure. It's certainly, we're never really disappointed when we watch these movies, which is nice.
No, like it's pretty small scale. Like you only had a few locations, but I felt like it told a pretty interesting and fun story, albeit mostly predictable. But I don't know. I did predict that Laurie was going to be the killer, but I didn't predict that Dr. Peterson was too. So it surprised me in some ways.
The second twist.
Yeah.
But I would definitely watch more of these. Anything else, guys, with the Sinister Surgeon?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
All right, AJ, would you recommend the Sinister Surgeon?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite of these movies we've seen recently, but I can't say I was like truly bored through the movie. It was okay.
Rebecca.
I think I would recommend it too. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was decent for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. Again, if you like the Lifetime original stuff, but you want something a little bit more gory or a little more shocking, I say check out Sinister Surgeon, and it's free on Tubi. So do that. All right, guys, let's move on and play a game. Here we go.
Game time, baby.
Your theories are the worst kind. Drive your methods and sloppy, and your conclusions are hypothetical. Shall we play?
All right, we're going to dive into the world of plastic surgery a little bit here. So first up, when was the first rhinoplasty performed? What year?
1989.
1962.
A little earlier than that. 600.
What?
BC. Yeah, I actually teach this as part of my ancient history course in the social studies class that I teach. But yeah, ancient India was performing rhinoplasties. They would actually use like wooden dowels to keep the nose open as it was healing so that the person could breathe through it afterwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
It had to be so painful back then.
Oh, I can't even imagine. And like the infections.
Yeah, that's what you have to worry about. Because if you have an open wound on your face.
Nose stuff is still like horribly gross to heal from.
Well, because it's a mucous membrane. It's not gonna it's
easy to get infected, I imagine.
Makes my nose itch just thinking about it. What's the most common plastic surgery? Is it rhinoplasty, breast augmentation, liposuction, or a facelift?
Boobs. We even said in this movie.
I'm going to say, it's either breast augmentation or liposuction.
It is breast augmentation. Yeah. Now, if you include the non-surgical, Botox takes number 1. Approximately how many boob jobs are performed in the U.S. every year?
Oh, God.
500,000. No, probably more, huh? 3 million.
I mean, there's got to be a dozen plastic surgeons in every town, right?
It is about 300,000.
Wow. Okay, less than I thought.
Yeah. And they are covered by insurance if you're going smaller, but not bigger.
I should get a boob job. I need to go smaller.
Well, insurance might cover it.
Yeah.
In what year were plastic surgeons first certified? When did it become a certification by the AMA?
1975. 1965.
1962.
It was way back in 1938.
Wow.
Yeah. Good old 1938 surgery.
Yes, way to go. Well, with bloodletting,
We'll just put a leech on your face and hope for the best.
We'll just electric shock with that to help heal it. Yeah.
We'll get a nose lift and then a lobotomy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the average salary for a plastic surgeon in Pennsylvania?
$500,000 a year.
$250,000 a year.
No, $400,000 a year, easily.
It is $485,239, which turns out to be about $233
Jesus,
an hour.
no wonder you would want to be.
I mean, you're charging anywhere from.
But
6
you've
to
also,
12
what are
grand
your
surgery.
student loans looking like?
Yeah, that's true. That's like a year of college.
I'm guessing, what is your liability insurance? Because this is all elective too, so it's got to be astronomical.
But
True.
When you're performing those kinds of things in a private practice versus in a hospital, how does that affect it too? As of 2022, what % of plastic surgeries are performed on men?
Probably 15%.
40.
It is about 13.8%.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
What did this guy have done? He had his jaw made weird.
I could see if you get in accidents or something too, work-related, you might want plastic surgery.
Yeah. But it said liposuction and breast reduction are the two top
makes sense.
for men.
That's what I wanted to get done.
You're rating at 13%.
Yeah.
You're prime.
All right. Well, I'll have to set up my appointment. I wonder how much that costs. It can't be cheap, I'm guessing.
No. Not if they're making 400.
Yeah.
Almost 500,000 a year.
And depending on where you go in the level and skill and all that matters.
Oh, and you're not charging that to Highmark.
No. All right. Thank you, Rebecca. Let's move on and do some listener feedback. So here we go. Recent listener feedback, sir.
Make it so, number one.
Emails. You tiny little emails. You precious little emails. Where are you? All right. Last week we talked about Best of the Best 2. We have a few comments here. Mostly from Jason Case, who went on quite a comment spree. I'll just read one of them.
All right, read one for us.
Jason says, I'll never forget seeing this direct-to-VHS sequel, Best of the Best 2. VHS available to rent in the action movie section of Hollywood Video. There's an entertaining, cheesy action movie, including the illegal underground fighting league in Las Vegas. He says it's vastly superior to the irrefutable abomination that is Double Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever seen the Double Dragon movie.
It's not good.
No? Even as a fan of the...
It has nothing to do with that.
Okay. It's not good at all?
I don't remember it being good.
Okay. Jinx D3LV205 says, so, I'm not saying you plan the live stream so I can't be there, but I'm also not saying you aren't, LOL. Isn't there a minimum age to be in this podcast? Traumatizing poor young Lindsay with these movies.
Lindsay loves those movies.
Lindsay's the one who made us.
Yeah.
Lindsay makes us watch those movies.
Yeah, what do you... Yeah, it's her idea.
No, that was her choice.
She's also older than me by quite a bit, so how dare you?
Well, I think you said she was 25.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I did say that. And that's basically it. There's a bunch of other comments here from Jason, but not too many comments left on the Best of the Best 2 episode. Hopefully we get some on this week's episode about the Sinister Surgeon. So if you want to leave a comment, do it on our YouTube, so we'll read it on next week's show. Tell us what kind of elective surgery we should all have. Go through each member.
Oh, God. Especially the people that are not here.
And let us know. Oh, yeah, maybe just those guys.
Yeah.
Let us know what they should have.
We'll post a picture. You can dissect it.
Yeah, we could do AI to describe it.
So that's what we'll talk about next week. But for now, we must do the wheel. So I got to pull this up.
The wheel.
What's
The
it
wheel's the
gonna
same as last week, Sean said. Spin. The wheel.
It's the same. Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff on here from patrons and...
There's some good stuff on there.
All right, let's see what we
Spin it,
got.
Chris.
Here we
Spin
go.
Here we go.
No money. Stop. Cage. Lays it is. We're back in it, folks. We're back in it.
Sin Turn, is that what we're watching?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me find a trailer.
That's the one
for
with
that.
The church
priest.
one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're definitely watching.
We got a little Jesus wheel mixed in
Yes.
with our.
Yeah, AJ, this might be like right up your
It
alley.
might be. If there's a plane,
It is
we
the
might be.
perfect movie.
If there's a plane, it's
might be really
it won't get any better
She's
here.
got to fly to the church to
All right,
take it down.
all right, let's check
Jesus
out the trailer
believe in
here for
flight?
Sin Turn.
Let us pray for all who suffer.
Dude.
For those who feel lost or abandoned. When no one else will.
So, is that the girl from that B song from a few years ago or whatever?
That B song?
What was her name?
I don't know.
I
have no idea.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
She's like Australian or something. Okay, I'll keep going.
Evelyn Giovanni.
My mom was killed the night of Pastor Dean's return.
I need to show you something. Is this your mom's handwriting? That's the pastor.
She said she was his first victim, not his last.
They're looking for interns. Church is gonna hire you as an intern.
Churching it up.
Man.
I gotta figure out what's going on.
You must be Jocelyn.
Is Pastor Dean not here today?
Keep up the good work, everyone.
It's actually, this doesn't look that bad.
This looks
It's like
pretty
an
good.
actual movie.
Yeah, it's like a real movie. Wait.
Oh, shit! Oh, you gotta do the best part. There's a church shooting. Oh my god.
What am I thinking of that?
Wow.
I don't know what song I'm thinking of, but she looks just like her. Anyways, that's what we're doing next week, guys. The Sin Turn, which is on Tubi, another Tubi original,
Yes.
which we're gonna just change it to the Bad Tubi podcast pretty
Maybe.
soon enough. Which I'm on board for.
Yeah.
The Sin Turn, from
It's exciting.
June 7th, 2024. So
Wow.
not too long ago either,
Hot
guys.
off the presses.
There you go.
We'll see who's here next week. AJ may or may not be here.
I'll
Aaron
watch it though.
may or may not be here. Spiv might not be here, or likely isn't. Lindsay, I'm not sure either.
Lindsay's a no.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
We'll
wow.
find out what happens, guys, next
I
week.
think Spiv's a no too because he said he'd see us
Wow.
in August.
Jesus. Maybe they'll all turn up when they hear it's the Sin Turn, though.
Yeah, they might.
Bring
don't even-
everybody back.
What does it even mean? The Sin Turn? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, because she's a sinful person and she's an intern.
Ah!
Clear.
Rick, you're smart.
Queer.
I'm too dumb for this movie. All right, guys, that's going to do it. This week's podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go to the iTunes, leave a review. That helps out the show. Consider joining the Patreon. Patreon.com/BadMovieNightShow. Sign up for $2. Get access to the pre-show. Get access to the Slack. Get your movie on the wheel. That's it, guys. We'll catch you here next week when we watch The Sin Turn. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Bad Movie Night Podcast.
Bad movie night.